Welcome. Namaste. Take a moment to find a comfortable, supported seat. Reach back with your hands, identify your buttock bones, and take the flesh of the buttocks diagonally out and back so that you're sitting squarely on the buttock bone. They're making clear contact with whatever it is you're sitting on. So in anticipation of this Yin Yoga practice, please take a moment to gather all of your props. And remember that in Yin Yoga, we don't create any heat of our own. So you want to be sure that you are dressed warmly enough. Draw the hands together in prayer position in front of the heart. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Do that again, deep breath in. And if you haven't already, allow the eyes to close. Turn your attention to your breath and gradually grow your breath. Take these precious few moments to turn your attention to your breath. Forsake the external world in favor of the internal world. And as we sit here together in silence and contemplation of our breath, consider this poem by Dana Fods titled Open. Nothing to wall out or hold in. Open like the wide sky at twilight. Open as the ocean or the reach of the unknown. Open as a heart that chooses not to close. After your next inhalation, on the exhale, tuck the chin, bow just the head, taking a moment in this gesture of humility and reverence. Set an intention for your practice to remain open. We'll feel that intention by joining our voices in the sacred sound of Om. Inhaling as the head floats up. Blinking eyes open, release the hands. We're going to come into our diamond shape or butterfly shape. So the soles of the feet together well in front of you. So a nice big diamond. Sitting up on height as you feel is helpful. Support the knees. Maybe the bolster can go either under the knees or extend forward in front of you. You can have blankets or blocks to support the knees. Get creative. I'll come up with a couple of suggestions, but they are by no means the full limitation of what you can use for props to support yourself. Once again, reach back and take the flesh of the buttocks diagonally out and back to encourage the pelvis to tilt forward, and slowly allow yourself to come forward. In our yin practice, we want to make sure that we're not attempting to get to a prop. You find your edge, the place where the body stops moving, back off a little bit from there, and then support yourself. How you support yourself is entirely up to you based on the shape that your body takes and what you feel. It's okay to leave the torso unsupported, the head unsupported, the knees unsupported, any body part unsupported, unless you feel like there is tremendous muscular tension as a result of allowing yourself to be unsupported and hanging in gravity. What makes Yin Yoga is the absence of muscular effort to hold a shape. Muscular effort is a yang energy, and this is a yin practice. So supported in every way that you feel you need to be supported in order to soften. If you go past your edge or even right up to your edge, a little over, then it's going to be very challenging to sustain the shape for a long period of time without feeling more tension build and gripping and holding to sustain the shape. When in doubt, do less and stay longer. Back off. If your head is supported, you might consider taking the arms back behind you, holding on to the opposite wrist, forearm, or elbow. If the head is hanging, then you need to keep the arms forward to help hold the weight of the torso. In this yin practice, we will hold the shape for somewhere between 3 and 10 minutes. A lot of sensation will come and go. A lot of thoughts can pop up. Let them go. When you notice that your mind has wandered and thoughts have come, just refresh the pose with a deep breath. Come back home. You might scan the body. It's this great field of sensation. Or turn your attention to your breath and notice how each breath is unique. That's an anchor. Your anchor is the place that you come back to with your awareness and attention when you notice you've wandered. With the head hanging, when you're really letting go, you're feeling the energy flow from the back of the head to the tip of the nose. The lips might drift away from the teeth and gums. The muscles of the cheeks start to draw away from the cheekbones. You may even feel the eyes gently receding into their sockets as the brain grows quiet. Open. Completely aware of the full field of sensation that is your physical body. Aware of the fluctuations in activity or quiet of the mind. Aware of any emotion revealing itself. Undigested thoughts, feelings, trauma, emotion is stored in the tissues of our body. For these deep compression and traction experiences in our yin practice, you may find that you're accessing some of that undigested experience and reliving it now. There's no need to be afraid or fearful. See if you can remain open to the full experience, whatever it is. may begin to notice how nothing remains the same for very long. Even the letting go. Even the holding on. Just a few more breaths here, relaxing the muscles of the face, unhinging the jaw, softening the throat, witnessing this breath. This wave of sensation, emotion, thought. When you feel complete, and that's entirely up to you to decide, when in doubt, stay longer. You could remain in this shape for the entirety of the practice. That would be a life-changing experience. But when you decide that you have had enough, with exquisite slowness, great sensitivity, slowly, with the support of the arms, release the shape, gently ease your way down onto your back and pause. Want to find the path of least resistance, the least amount of disturbance and disruption to that state of quiet, peaceful awareness. So make all of the necessary adjustments that you feel comfortable lying on your back. The neutral pose. Yin yoga is not the same as restorative yoga, where we really want to feel the absence of sensation. In yin yoga, we want to feel rich sensation. We are putting our bodies in a position of healthy stress. The connective tissues are yin tissues, fascia, ligament, tendon, joint capsules, bone. So the yin approach to the yin tissues is what we're aiming for, the ultimate benefit of strength and stability, mobility, hydration, suppleness. When you feel as though your body has really landed in this nice neutral shape, then we'll begin to develop the next shape, the banana shape. So taking the feet wide, and then sliding the left leg over toward the right leg. It may or may not make it to the right leg. It's not the goal to get to the right leg. The goal is to notice where your body stops moving, where you find that first bit of resistance, and pause there. If you like the idea of putting the left ankle on top of the right so that the left leg is passive and the right ankle is holding you there, then bring the right leg to the left leg. Watch that you're not rolling over to the right. We're just curling. So you may find it helpful to Tuck that left buttock under you again, the left outer thigh and hip back down toward the earth. Relax. Take a moment to assess this shape and decide if the body is inviting you to go further, and you can shimmy the torso over to the right. But pubic bone, navel, sternum, gaze, all still straight up toward the sky. Again, not rolling to the right, but curling. You might find that it's helpful to put some support at the left side of the body to help hold you here. If it's still coming along and the body is open to a deeper expression, can stretch the left arm overhead and hold on to the left elbow or upper arm with the right hand. So the left arm is relaxed completely in the support of the right hand. You might find that it's helpful to support that right forearm, the left elbow, with a stack of blankets or blocks. So each yin shape is an experience of compression and traction. Compression is the action of bringing two bones closer to one another, compressing the joint. And traction is taking the two bones away from one another, contractioning the joint. So you might take a moment just to notice what part of the body is in compression, what part is in traction, and make sure that they're both reasonable. Too much sensation, too much resistance, and the jaw will be clenched, the breath will be compromised, the eyes will harden, the brain will harden. That doesn't lead to softness and letting go. So it is more beneficial to do less and stay longer and let go more deeply. It takes skill and sensitivity to work with intelligence. It's easy to work hard. To find that place that is just right for your body, regardless of what your mind thinks. Mind will try to influence you at every opportunity. Quiet the mind. Listen to your body. So this is a shape that will hold for about 3 minutes. So at the onset of each shape, you can take the first 30 seconds, the first 60 seconds to adjust and refine. And then it's important to commit to a shape. No more fidgeting or adjusting. The connective tissues, the yin tissues, respond to pressure and time. Use each inhalation to spread the consciousness through the body. Feel what you feel. Listen to the body. It is telling you the truth. And then use each exhalation as an invitation to soften something somewhere. Anything, anywhere. There is always something more to let go. There's layers and layers of resistance and holding. Just a few more breaths here. Can you stay present for each one of these precious and unique breaths? Be in the full body experience of breathing. At any point now, when your body has informed you that you've received all of the benefits, this long held shape to this side, then and only then, which may not be for another few breaths or few minutes, slowly, gently release the shape by finding the path of least resistance to reestablish that neutral shape. Pausing in the neutral shape long enough for the body to receive all of the benefits of that long held previous shape. Long enough for the body to soften once again and settle down. And when you feel as though you are really and truly settled into the neutral shape, knowing that there is no benefit to hurrying and no need to hurry, then, and only then, with an open mind, open heart, open body, begin to create the shape on the second side. So you're not picking up where you left off on the first side. Go with tremendous sensitivity. The shape may be completely different on this side. That's okay. We're not the same side to side. The right leg toward the left leg. Maybe tuck the right buttocks under you. The right outer thigh and hip heavy back down toward the earth. The curling, not rolling. And then you decide if it's pertinent to take the torso over to the left some amount, increasing the compression on the left side and the traction on the right side. Not too much and not too little, just right. So the whole outer edge of the right side of the body down toward the earth, pubic bone, navel, sternum, turned right up to the sky. Maybe stretching the right arm overhead and holding on to that right arm with the left hand so that the right arm can relax completely into the support of the left hand. So you might find a little prop underneath your right ribs or left ribs to help hold you in this shape. Maybe a prop at the right hip or left leg, whatever it is that where you feel that you're holding on in order to sustain the shape. That's where the prop would be most beneficial. Taking the first few seconds here to refine and refine into a perfectly positioned shape. Healthy amount of stress through compression and traction. Enough support that the body can continue to soften and soften and relax and let go. And as you settle in and you find the shape to commit to, consider these words by Dana Fod. This is titled, "The Door is Always Open." Fear, pain, dark mood, despairing moments, plentiful distractions. The human drama plays through me as it always has, with one abiding difference. Knowing what I am opens a door to truth. Sometimes I step across that threshold and sometimes I don't, but the door is always open. It's the absence of muscular effort that makes Yin Yoga yin. Every exhalation is an invitation to soften, relax, and release. Every inhalation is an opportunity to identify an area of tension. To bring space and light and prana into that area of tension. Can you soften any of the muscles of your face? When the brain is active, the muscles of the face tend to be engaged. few more breaths here, feeling everything. Breathe, soften, observe shift of sensation as you inhale and exhale, and allow yourself to feel whatever you feel. Allow what is to simply be. And at any point now, when you feel as though you have received all of the benefits, that may not be for a few more breaths or a few more minutes. If you were to remain in this shape for the rest of practice, it would be a life-changing experience. I'm only issuing invitations to explore other shapes. You do not have to respect or accept the invitation. You could stay right where you are if your body is continuing to open and soften and it feels beneficial and satisfying. But when you release, come back to that neutral shape, whatever that looks like for you. It's more about feeling neutral. And then you observe as even though the gross external body has made the shift, an onlooker would say, okay, you have arrived, but you can feel the subtlety of the body still transitioning, adjusting, and settling. So the transitions are a bit of an upheaval or an upset to quiet of the body and the mind. No matter how subtle the shift may be, it takes the time that it takes for the body to come back and can dovetail with the mind and the spirit. But when you feel complete and you have rested in the neutral shape long enough for everything to settle and soften here, we'll construct the next shape, which is the supported bridge pose. So with the knees bent and the feet planted, I'm going to have blanket, bolster, block, something handy, something available to support the hips. So start for just a moment with the knees bent and the feet planted. Pause. Pressing down into the feet to lift the hips, and quickly get your support right underneath your hips, your pelvis, your sacrum, not your low back. So you may pause if you're using a block in particular. You may pause on the low height of the block or the mid height of the block. Can always go higher or lower. Take this first minute so that you're not just working out of habit, going on to whatever height of the block you always go on to or that you went on to last time. Decide the height of the support underneath your pelvis based on what you feel. So the block can be pretty firm, stable. In reality, you may prefer a bit of softness provided by the bolster or blanket. And then find your ultimate position. Maybe you're there now, or you need to go a little lower or a little higher. And then once you are settled with the support underneath the hip, take the next several exhalations to focus on letting the kidneys grow heavy down toward the earth. Rest the full weight of your pelvis down onto that support. In this shape in particular, I find that we tend to hover up over the prop, activating the back body into this back bend. Let it be supported. Every exhalation, deflating and receding and softening and growing heavier onto your support. The pelvis is the heaviest part of the body, our center of gravity. Feel the weight of that. And when you feel as though you're really and truly rested the full weight of your pelvis on your support, then you might decide to do something a little different with your arms. Could be by your side, or extended out in T position, somewhere overhead, maybe holding the opposite wrist or elbow or hand. So rest the hands on your abdomen if that feels comforting. You do not need to go to the maximum amount of sensation to benefit. Quite the opposite. So Yin Yoga is really where we learn to practice, to notice with sensitivity, the subtle sensations. And then you decide what to do with your legs. Maybe the feet come toward one another and the knees drift apart, or the knees come toward one another and the feet go a little wider, or stay right where you are, or walk your feet a little further forward. Let your adjustments be subtle. Give your body the opportunity to identify the optimum shape. And then ultimately settling down into whatever shape your body informs you is in your best interest. Not the most sensational, not the least sensational, but somewhere in the middle. Enough sensation that you feel the body is in a healthy, stressful shape, but not so much that you have to guard and grip against it. Be honest with yourself. And begin that process of letting go again into this shape. Noticing where there's compression. The quality of sensation of compression. And where there's traction. And the quality of the sensation Attraction. Stay with yourself. Just be. Finally, I am slowing down. After all this time of doing, I have a moment to just be. Serenity must be chosen, the wave of relaxation washing through me, not by chance, but choice. I consciously give myself over to the tide of peace that easily receives the burdens I release. How is this breath different from the last? Can you do less? A couple more breaths here. At any point now when you feel complete, do not hesitate to stay longer. Find the path of least resistance to gently and slowly release this shape and find your way to a neutral shape. You can extend the legs as you lower the hips down. Maybe take the feet wide and let the knees rest against one another, or soles of the feet together with the knees out wide. Yogi's choice based on what you feel. Just be a gentle transition to a neutral shape. When you feel as though you have spent the perfect amount of time in your neutral shape, carefully, slowly, and then intentionally work your way to a seated position. Take your time, please. So we'll construct the deer shape. This shape would be very helpful if you have a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, then a stack of blankets. If you don't have a stack of blankets, have just one blanket, you really fold it up so that it creates a nice height, maybe wrapping it around a block or a pillow, and some amount of height here. And we'll put that support over to the right side. We'll have the right leg forward as we create a bit of a swastika shape with the leg. This Buddhist shape of eternal peace and serenity. So a bit of a swastika shape. The bolster here by your right side, you might just lean your forearm or elbow onto that bolster. You might find that your torso can go up and over the bolster and you rest your forearm or elbow on the earth. Intending to keep your body neutral, not turning the heart down excessively or up. You might find that you can continue to extend the body over the bolster. Maybe you need a pillow or a support for the head. You can use the right hand. Maybe just a small pillow between the upper arm and the head. Or let the head hang so that there's some traction for the side of the neck, but not so much that the jaw is clenching and the head feels vulnerable. And what you decide to do with this left arm is entirely up to you. It can stay right here in this neutral shape. You might take it back behind you. You could take it forward or even overhead. There is no right or wrong way. The only wrong way to practice Yin Yoga is to be engaged in the muscles to hold you in your chosen shape. So even if the arm is overhead and the elbow collapses, let that be. If you really want the sensation that you find with the elbow is lifted, you might need some support here. Something to help hold the arm in place. The hand can hold the right arm, the back of the head, some support so that the shoulder can relax. The arm just finds its own place. It's the absence of muscular contraction to sustain the shape that makes Yin Yoga Yin Yoga. So whatever you need to do, get very creative in finding ways to support yourself and adjust your shape so that there is no need for any action to hold you in your chosen shape. The placement of that left leg a little further forward, a little further back, will change how and where you feel this in your pelvis and in your hips. Rolling the heart down just a little bit or turning the heart up just a little bit will change how and where you feel this in your waist, in your torso, your shoulders, maybe your neck. Don't hesitate to make the slightest shift or adjustment. Will open up a whole new world of sensation. A whole new world where you are able to soften and let go and release. Remembering that our intention is to put our body in a state of healthy stress. So it's not to say without sensation. You want to feel sensation and stress in the hip joint or in the joint. In reality, you may feel it along the length of the bone, deep in the muscle. Fascia is everywhere. But notice. Commit to a shape. Breathe. Relax anything, anywhere. Feel everything. Remain observant and attentive. And allow what is to be. Notice how nothing remains the same for very long. Just a few more breaths here. Releasing all expression from the face. Feel the full weight of the body resting. Then any time now when you feel as though you have received all of the potential benefits, knowing that there is no need to ever release this shape, stay for the remainder of the practice, and this would be a life-changing experience. Be a beautiful practice. When you're ready, whatever it takes to bring that left arm around to support you, if not already, keep your head hanging. Turn your heart down toward the earth and use the strength of the right arm to press you up. Keep your legs exactly as they are. And instead of going over laterally, we're going to turn. Turn the heart toward the earth. Turn the spine. The support that you use for the lateral aspect of your shape may be very different. So without any prop, we're not trying to get to a prop, but turn your heart to the earth, come onto your forearms, which might mean that you come well out of the rotation. Let that happen. You may need your forearms to be on blocks or blankets. You come all the way down, maybe too much. And you might find that that left knee has slid forward. Let that happen. Turning the heart more and more to the earth and then bowing down. So maybe some support underneath your sternum, your armpits, your chest to hold you here. Maybe stacking the palms or the fists to support the forehead, or a block to support the forehead. But we want to bring the prop to us, not try to get to the prop. That's why I asked you to come in first without a prop. But now that you have found your shape, bring those props in to support you by all means. Once the torso is supported or hanging in space, your choice, but let the head be supported. Then you might find that it's beneficial to slide the left palm along the earth and straighten the arm somewhere, anywhere. And relax down onto the forearm and elbow. Breathe. Maybe you find that your body is still open to a deeper expression, so you turn your gaze toward the right, resting on your left cheek, or maybe more like your eyeball or your nostril. But be sure that the neck and head are comfortable and supported. And maybe take the right arm down by your side with the palm facing upward, reaching back towards your feet. And in reality, you may find that you can hold on to your left foot. And maybe not, and who cares? We're just intending to find a healthy, stressful shape. Not going so far that you create tension and muscular effort to resist or hold.
If that left knee is sliding forward, you can let that happen. Or you might attempt to arrest its forward motion by putting a prop in front of the knee that gives the knee something to lean into, something heavy. So as you make your refinements and adjustments and settle in to your chosen shape, settle in. Deepen the breath. For just a few breaths, and then allow the breath to return to its natural and organic rhythm. Using the exhalations in particular as an invitation to soften and let go. Once again, here I am, letting go. A lifetime of letting go. And again, allowing yourself to feel what you feel physically and emotionally. Go with it. Use the breath, the invitation to ease into tight, dark areas of the body. Just holding. Bring light, space, and prana into those areas of resistance and holding. And then you just may find that on an exhalation, there's some amount of softening. Use the power of the breath to change the body. Just a few more breaths here. The door is always open. When you feel as though you have received all of the benefits of this shape, then and only then, slowly, gently, with intention, sensitivity, and control. Find the path of least resistance to support your way out. If you stay in this shape for the last bit of time that we have in practice today, it would be a beautiful way. Coming to neutral. Take a moment in a neutral shape, whatever that might look like for you. Leaning back, lying back, sitting up. Just a minute in this neutral shape to allow the body full experience of transitioning. It's a disruption and an upheaval. If you can release with sensitivity and support and go slowly, it's less dramatic, less to recover from. And when you feel as though you have paused in the neutral shape for an adequate amount of time, then we'll begin with an open mind, no expectation, to create our shape on the second side. So your props will be over towards your left. No idea what props you'll need. And I like the idea of a high support for the torso to come up and over as we're in our lateral expression of the deer shape. So creating that swastika shape with your legs, more or less, right? This is up to you to let your body decide. In reality, that right knee may need to come quite far forward. You may be open and you can take it back with little resistance. So maybe forearm or elbow on the prop, bolster, stack of blankets, maybe blanket rolled over or draped over block. Maybe the forearm elbow can come to the earth or to another smaller prop. The idea behind this bolster or this prop here is that it's going to cause our spine to go into lateral flexion by having to come up and over. Maybe you support your head here with your left fist or even with a block. Maybe you can lie a little bit lower. So there's more arc, more traction for the right side of the spine, more compression for the left side of the spine. If you let the head hang, it could create too much stress. So you could have a pillow or a blanket in between the upper arm or shoulder and the side of the head. But part by part, find a reasonable shape. And when the legs are adjusted just right and the torso is over the support and the arm and the head are situated just right, then you can turn your attention to your right arm, which might just rest right in front of you or overhead, a little bit further back, or wrapped around your kidney band, along the side of the body, anywhere. It doesn't matter what you look like. It matters how you feel. And because of the nature of fascia being everywhere in the body, whatever you do with that arm is going to affect the neck and the shoulder and the torso and the hips and the legs, all the way to the feet and the hands. It's the nature of fascia. So any slight refinements or adjustments here, to find your optimum, not to be confused with maximum shape. And settle in and commit.
So this is a position that you put yourself in. Not too much, but not too little. It takes a tremendous amount of awareness and sensitivity to find that shape. So if you think you're in the shape and you're going along and then you realize that you're really resisting and holding and you're actually in way too deep, don't hesitate to make an adjustment, no matter how subtle or dramatic, to make it a reasonable shape. But hopefully with practice, dedication, compassion, knowing yourself, you're able to identify a shape that's reasonable. And then you commit to that shape. But not committing to a shape that feels torturous. Can be highly sensational and very uncomfortable. But only if you can continue to be with it with a relaxed, curious mind, without the need to resist. And we're feeling everything, physical and emotional. A few more breaths. You are more than welcome to stay right where you are or to make only a subtle shift or to release this lateral aspect of the deer shape and come into the rotational aspect. That is entirely up to you, based solely on what you feel. If you decide to transition so slowly, think about it. Find the path of least resistance. Smallest amount of disruption to turn the spine, turn the heart downward. Take the prop away to find your optimum shape. You may, in fact, bring that prop right back again. That's okay. But at least give your body the opportunity to find its own shape. You may be swaying way back toward the right or turning quite a bit to the left. Either way, it doesn't matter. But the intention to lay yourself down toward the earth, onto all the support that you need. And how and where you support yourself is entirely up to you based on what you feel. Get creative. Be open to potential and possibility. You might find that it's interesting. Slide the right hand away and then relax the forearm, elbow down. But bit by bit, part by part, not proceeding and progressing until everything that's already settled is settled. You might turn the gaze toward the left, resting on the right cheek, nostril, eyeball, and slide the left arm down, fingers toward the feet. And maybe, just maybe, you find that foot with your hand. Maybe not. Last few moments of adjusting and refining, and then committing to the shape. Committing to letting go. How is this breath different from the last? Direct your inhalation to the areas of resistance and tension. Soften something somewhere. And observe field of sensation, physical, emotional, mental body. And allow whatever is to be. No need to change a thing. We can allow and accept what we're experiencing. Then the potential for softening comes. Just a few more breaths here. Letting go.
Only when your body informs you that you have stayed for the perfect amount of time, very slowly, gently, with control, releasing, and find your way into a reclined, neutral shape. Whether you lie on your belly or on your back is entirely up to you. But find the path of least resistance to settle down. Final resting shape. Neutral. Give yourself all the support that you need, even here in this neutral shape. The ultimate posture of comfort and surrender. What weight can you put down right now, willingly relinquishing the pointed quills of guilt or judgment? What burden of the heart can lift? What dark corner can be lit? The candle flickering at first and burning bright. With the next breath, let it go, that old story you've told yourself a million times. Whatever doesn't serve you on this path of truth, leave it behind.